You know that feeling when you're carrying too many bags of groceries and you think, I can make this in one trip? And then you're almost at the door and one bag slips, then another slips, and suddenly everything is on the ground and you're standing there saying, enough already. That's what your 60s can feel like. One change happening after another, all landing in the same decade of your life. But what if these changes aren't there to wear you down, but to lead you to a truth you need to hear right now? In fact, by the end of this video, I'm going to give you an exercise that will lead you to that truth and might just blow your mind because it really could change the way you live the remaining years of your life. Having been through the 60s myself, I remember that exact feeling of, please, enough already. And it's not because everything happens all at once, and it's not because everything is happening to you. It may be happening to your spouse, a friend, your parents, or your grown child. But somehow, throughout the decade, just when you begin to adjust to one change, another one eventually comes along. And for those of you in your 60s watching right now, I bet you know exactly what I mean. And for those of you wondering, really? Have I gone through all those changes? Well, not every woman goes through every single change. But when I point them out, I think you'll see there might be more than you think. And here's where this hits close to home. Let's start with your health. Even though you can still be very active and vibrant in your 60s, you can't do everything you used to do. But when it comes to your health, there can be something that suddenly appears on your radar screen that you never expected. A diagnosis, a needed surgery, a fall. And if it's not happening to you, it may be happening to your partner, your parents, or someone you love. And speaking of parents, they're definitely at the age where they need more help in one way or another. Watching your parents struggle is one of the hardest parts of this decade because you watch them decline physically, sometimes emotionally, and for some of you, they may not remember you at all. And it's usually during this decade that most of us lose them altogether. And right around the time when that's happening, you're entering your retirement years, where the entire structure of your life has changed. And if retirement also comes with a relocation, a new city, a new home, and leaving behind everything familiar, the changes you go through have just doubled. Even if you've been looking forward to retirement your whole life, no one prepares you for the changes you weren't expecting to come with it. And one of those changes that can show up is in your marriage. You're suddenly together more than you've been in decades. For some couples, they get closer. For others, it creates a distance. And for some women, that distance leads somewhere even harder. A marriage that doesn't survive this stage. Not only has divorce in your 60s become very prevalent in today's world, so is the daunting prospect of dating and starting a relationship all over again. So when you hear yourself say, enough already, now you know why. By the way, if you're new to my channel, I'm Dr. Connie. I've been a psychotherapist and spiritual teacher for over 40 years. And if you've enjoyed this video, hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you part of our community. So in all my years of sitting with patients and in living through my own life, I've come to believe that these changes are not happening to punish or test you in any way. There's something else going on underneath all this that's happening for the benefit of you. Yes, you heard me right. It's happening for the benefit of you. And it's a truth you need to hear right now. And I can honestly say that what I'm about to tell you is something I rarely hear anyone else talk about because it's too uncomfortable for most people to even think about. But it needs to be said because it's the truth. And here it is. These changes, as exhausting and relentless as they feel, are there to help you wake up to something most of us spend our entire lives avoiding thinking about. Are you ready? Your own mortality. And maybe you've had the same thought I've had, especially if your parents are gone, which is, now I'm next in line. I'm the next generation that's going to die. And whether it's the thought of death, a diagnosis, or a surgery for yourself or someone you love, For that moment, you really feel the awareness that your time here is limited. And here's something else you might not expect to hear. The awareness of your mortality is not morbid. It's not. It's the greatest gift this decade gives you. Because when you truly feel the finite nature of your time here, you have the opportunity not only to stop taking your life for granted, but to become deeply curious about your own existence. Who am I really? Why am I here? Do I have a purpose? Is this all there is? And what's going to happen to me when I die? Let's face it, we all try not to think about that, but it's in the back of our minds. We know it's there. And that's exactly where the exercise I promised you comes in. So here it is. Give yourself a few quiet minutes with no distractions. For me, it helps me to stand in front of a mirror when I do this. There's something about looking into your own eyes that makes it harder to hide from yourself. You can see what you're really feeling, even the things you'd normally brush past. Now, I know that might feel uncomfortable for many of you, but stay with it if you can. But if it's not for you, simply find a quiet, private place where you can be still. Either way, here's what I'd like you to do. All I want you to do is pretend. We're all good at pretending, so now I want you to pretend on purpose. If you're a mother, pretend you're not. Just for a moment, you're not that anymore. If you have a spouse or partner, pretend you don't. If you have a career or job, let that go too. And finally, imagine your parents are gone and you're no longer anyone's child. So you're no mother, no partner, no worker, no one's child. There's just you. Now, as you look into the mirror, or simply look inward, ask yourself, who am I now? Who am I when every role I've ever identified with falls away? What's left? You're still here. Your heart's still beating. Lungs are still breathing. And something is still alive in here. But who is it? And if you're willing to share your answer, I'd love to know what came up for you. Leave me a comment, even if it's only just one word. Now, for some of you, the answer to that question might be, I don't know. And that's an important answer because it tells you that you've primarily identified who you are by the roles you've played. And that's part of the programming we all go through as human beings. But now in your 60s, it's time to find out, while you still have the time and energy to discover who you are underneath all those roles. But discovering who you are isn't something you figure out once. It's something you lean on again and again as more changes come, which means you're going to need an anchor. Something in you that stays steady when those groceries start slipping through your fingers. And here's what that anchor looks like for me, and it doesn't have to look like that for you. After losing both my parents, receiving my diagnosis, having a few surgeries, and watching friends and family go through these changes as well, my anchor is a faith that there's something bigger in me than who I am as a person. Whether you call it God, the universe, your soul, or something else entirely, I need to know there's something within me that can never be taken away. So when I stand in front of the mirror and ask, who am I now? I have an unfailing belief that I will still exist when Connie no longer does. I will take all of Connie with me when I leave this world, and she'll become another chapter in the much bigger story of who I really am. This is the anchor that gets me through everything in life, and one that I will carry for the rest of my life. However, you don't have to have that kind of faith to discover more of who you are. You may not have faith in your existence after this life, but you have a faith in you that you can cope with any challenge that comes. That's why asking yourself, who am I now, is so important. Because whatever answer you discover, whether it's a spiritual one or simply a deeper understanding of yourself, you'll build the kind of trust that says, I know who I am, I know what I believe, I know what matters to me. And that kind of trust becomes your anchor, no matter what you believe about what comes next, and it will get you through the years to come. So those grocery bags that slip through your fingers, don't pick them up. Leave them there and pick yourself up. Turn your attention toward yourself. Make yourself the one person you really get to know, and then keep asking yourself the most important question of your life. Who am I when I'm just me? And I'm hoping you'll discover that just you is so much more than enough. And for some of you, if you're willing to keep asking this question, you might just be surprised by who answers. There may be another voice you've heard many times before, but rarely stopped to listen to, until now. And once you begin hearing that voice, another question almost always follows. How do I know I can trust it? That's exactly what I want to explore with you in this next video right here, because trusting your inner voice can change your life. I'd love to hear more from you in your comments, and whether you believe this or not. I know there really is no one worth knowing more than you, and I so appreciate you watching. And I'll see you there.